episode of the Savage Patriots. We
Happy
are here
Monday.
back after a long weekend. No one likes Monday, but we can try
Good.
and make it a little bit easier on you with our program, right? That's the plan.
Indeed.
So both Lee and I are drinking, but mine's a little better than his, I think.
That's coffee.
His is tea. Mine is a kind of tea, but not really.
Hence tea.
Coffee.
Celsius.
Ew. And ice, white boy.
I'm Southern. We
He
drink.
is
We
white as
drink.
Jason.
No. We drink iced tea. Okay, in the South. That's just how it is.
Yeah, and we don't do coffee like that. That's like,
No.
is it pumpkin spice too? No, no,
What?
Lee, not pumpkin spice too. The tea.
No,
The coffee?
I'm not basic white girl. I'm just
Oh,
white
my
adjacent.
Okay,
Yeah. White adjacent. Not
man.
basic B.
not white parallel. Not white parallel.
No.
Adjacent, not the parallel.
Different paths altogether.
We're kitty corner to white people, not
Yeah.
walking hand in hand.
Not hand in hand.
You're a little ahead, just
Yeah.
a little bit.
In any case, we'll be talking about this interesting explosion here in Virginia, and what happened as a result, and all that good stuff. So don't depart the room. Please hang around because I think we may end up running into some conspiracy on this one. So bear with us. We'll be right back. All right. Welcome everybody again. Mr. James Yoo, Y-O-O. He was supposedly in the house at the time of the explosion. We have footage of it. You can see it if you want. But we have questions more than we have answers. And that's almost typical of every crazy event that happens. Is he dead? Is that what they're saying, right? He is dead.
They're claiming they
Remains
found
of-
remains in
See that?
the building, but they're not saying it's his yet. Like they're
Yeah.
claiming it's his,
Mm-mm.
but who knows?
Yeah, I don't buy that. So here's what we're gonna do, people. We're gonna watch. Okay. Now, there was a guy on screen, and I'll see if I can still find that video of him talking. But he said that he is an eyewitness to the thing that happened, and he was there before anything took place. His description does not match the report in any way, shape, and form that the police gave, other than the fact that there was an explosion and someone might now be dead. The theory, he says, is that the guy was there. He'd been firing flares all day, somewhere in the region of 20 to 30 flares. I mean, if you have 20 or 30 flares, you're doing well.
That's a lot.
I'm just gonna say that's
A
an
lot of
awful lot
flares.
to just discharge for no reason.
Yeah.
And then he said that the police tried to breach the house, and once they breached the house, there was a problem. He said that they tried to use an arm of some sort to break the front door down, and once they broke the front door down, he started firing rounds. But the breaking of the door never got put into any of the reports. And if you look at this coming video, look carefully at the front door right there. I don't see anything breached. Do you?
No.
It doesn't
Wait,
look like
is there supposed to be a breach team there?
there,
or are
there's
they in the
supposed to have
back?
been a rammer that took out the front door, and they said but I don't see the front door missing at all.
No, I see it well lit. It's not. It doesn't seem like anything's missing.
Now watch the explosion. Now hear me out. If if the house blew up and there were houses around it, why did it happen to blow up in both directions where no houses were? It went straight out the front and straight up the top, and houses on the sides were just
Barely escaped.
they survived. Is that normal for an explosion?
It's normal depending on the type of charge that they put and how they place the charge.
Oh, so you have to be placed.
yeah,
so-
yeah. So
Oh.
you can place charges in certain areas of a building or structure or wall or something to where it only affects a portion. So for it to blow up like that, my belief is that there had to be charges there because doesn't gas run through the whole house, right? Of course.
That's what
It
they
could have
say.
been.
Mhm.
Here's one of the things that people are saying is that they were throwing in non-lethal munitions, the types that can cause fires or explosions of some sort.
Okay. Okay. I'll give
Like
them that.
think of Waco, right? Hey,
Hmm.
we weren't trying to burn down the house, but we kind of went oopsies and we
Oh,
burned down the house.
okay. Okay. Let's say that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. Like a gas line was leaking, they threw in a flashbang or some sort of charge in there and it set off the gas and it exploded. Like it
Okay.
could be a
So
gas explosion.
the explosion only happened where their incendiary things lay on the floor. Then is what you're.
Could be. Or they were trying to breach with explosives and they effed it up. That's an even simpler explanation
Okay,
is
let's
they
look.
did the wrong calculations for the explosions.
Well, let's look again. Okay. Watch this again.
So from what I'm seeing,
It looks like it's coming from the side of the power side of the
Yeah,
house.
that's what I thought. And then it exploded up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then from once it exploded up, the other half of the house kind of sort of just fell to ashes almost. It seemed like it
Yeah.
just disintegrated on
Yeah.
them.
Now, I wish we could see the inside of the house or get a layout because it looks like where it exploded, it was off kind of to the, if you were standing in front of the house, it was kind of off to the left a little bit, kind of left centered. So it's kind of centered off to the left. That whole left side went up and then kind of out, right? Is that what you saw?
Mm.
So where's the kitchen at if they were breaching the house? Or where were they breaching at? The front
Right at
door?
right where you saw the truck. Did you saw the truck there?
Yeah.
Now
So-
the guy that had that if I could find his interview said that truck got through the front door initially with an arm, and it backed up because he was firing shots and it was trying to get a different angle to go into the house.
Mhm.
And if you look at the truck, you'll see it start to move. You can see the cursor here. This guy,
Mhm.
look, he's starting to move in. But it still doesn't make sense about the trajectory of any of the debris or the explosion.
And then for him to throw any type of like flashbangs or less than lethal devices, wouldn't they have to be? Because I mean that happens so fast. So you think about a flashbang. A flashbang is like a couple seconds. You get rid of it, boom, it's going off.
Yeah.
So it couldn't have been a flashbang or any type of breaching tool because you would have still saw guys at the door. There would have been no way they would have got away that fast away from that door by the time that thing went off. If it makes sense.
I don't think any of it makes any sense. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I'm finding many of this entire situation does not make sense at all.
Mm-mm.
So the website that you found there, Lee, of
Yeah.
the LinkedIn.
I mean, I just Googled James Yoo and this link then came up, and based on our previous conversation, he's talking about the U.S. being the world's biggest terrorist organization via Noam Chomsky, F the police, purge them, and that's all that's written on the bio thing right here. And then you got defund the FBI, defund CIA, defund NSA, purge all Knox, purge all spies. He's an independent. And happy birthday, America. That's all that I'm reading on that. Seemingly debunked.
Can
right.
you bring it up, Coy?
Hmm.
That LinkedIn
All right,
profile?
here-
I don't have a LinkedIn profile.
Once we read it, I have a few questions about it because for him to be like that, for him to put that in his LinkedIn, is this how he always was? Like or did this just start like right before his death? Did he put all that
Apparently,
stuff up?
his YouTube page was littered with that kind of info
Okay.
for
Apparently.
a long time.
Okay.
A long time.
There's another one I brought up too. This is coming from 4chan, so take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, this is what this one person is claiming: is that he was head of CFIUS security. I don't know what
Yes,
that is.
he
Do you
was.
guys know?
I looked up the company. There's not a whole lot to him.
It says American government has backdoor to every American hardware and so does Israel. Israel can spy on Americans anytime they want. Wife and sister sold him out, I guess, tried to kill him. I don't know what that means, and I'm not going to read it. So
Moon cricket.
Yeah.
You creates an account on YouTube in early November, use house, and mysteriously blows up, destroying all evidence on December 4th. Early morning, December 5th, his YouTube channel gets nuked. Shortly after, all of his social media gets nuked, including his LinkedIn account and Instagram and Twitter accounts. It is found out that James Yoo was one step ahead and archived all of his own content ahead of time on archive.org. Articles claiming James Yoo is presumed dead. Archive.org suddenly goes down for 3 or 4 hours for maintenance, and all of James Yoo's archived content is removed. He predicts a major catastrophe on the 7th and predicts the date of his own death here. You are. So that's this person's claim, but they did put links to where they're getting their information of, or supposedly. So like I said, take it with a grain of salt. Let's bring up that James Yoo LinkedIn, shall we? All right, here we go.
That's him.
That's the one they're saying.
Except that was gone.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make sure I get you the proof that it was gone.
I mean, I'm even looking at it at that link right now, and there's no profile picture.
Let's look at some of these. I don't know why who posts on LinkedIn anyway. It's weird.
That is weird.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith is Hollywood bullshit. Jamie and Rosemary and Lance Smith extract, copy, and space all the network digital connections for signaling. It's a double-edged sword for the victims, since everybody consumes network digital connections while victims' connections are being used against the victims.
Does he even look like the type of person to do something like that or write something
No,
like
that's
that?
just the thing. There's nothing about him that says it would be something like that.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
also a
looking at-
premium member too, apparently.
I'm looking at the guy. I'm like, he doesn't even fit the. That's weird.
Congrats, man. The ass man
Tim Ryan.
is a mask hole.
Now, this is I found the eyewitness, so-called eyewitness. Okay, here's what the eyewitness had to say.
Come out, we don't want to
look
hurt
at
you.
him.
And then they ended up driving the SWAT truck through the front door with like a pile driving arm. And
You hear that?
Through the front door, right?
But why is he smiling so much?
He's
He's
just
an
happy
actor.
to be there.
He's an
come out, we
actor.
don't want to hurt you. And then they ended up driving the SWAT truck through the front door with like a pile driving arm.
Now, I'm going to say this. When you hear him say some things coming up, you tell me if it sounds rehearsed, coaxed, or a normal human being who has no affiliation with the stuff going on would say. Okay? Listen carefully.
And at that point, he started firing a weapon back. I mean, I believe it was like an AR. It was a high caliber weapon. It's not a flare. They shot flares at the beginning. He was not shooting flares near the end. They started returning fire with non-lethal weapon, with a non-lethal. They kept saying non-lethal. They're shooting a shotgun.
You hear that?
He talks like a cop.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay.
Back into
He looks
the
like
windows,
one, too.
blasting out the windows a little bit. And then at that point, they reversed the truck back. They kept trying to yell to him. He sounded like he was trying to say something back, but they were like, "Look, we can't hear you. Please come out. Please come out. We won't get hurt." And at that point, they reversed back and they changed the angle of the truck, and they were going to try to take out the window, the front window there, tell them to back up from the window. And at that point, they were driving forward to the window, and that's when the whole place went up. I mean, just absolutely. I mean, you saw the video. It was.
All right.
It's
All right. First off,
confusing.
there's certain ways you could read people, and something they taught us in the military a long time ago. You can read body language. You can read a lot. I'm not an expert at it, but I can tell this guy is not being genuine. One, the lingo he was using, the jargon he was using when he said high caliber weapon.
Yeah.
What civilians that's sitting around talks like that? And then he said they were going to take the arm the battering ram and go through the door. Then he heard you say something, but how did he hear it? Where was he standing when he heard all this back and forth conversation? Because was he like right up on the house? Was he standing out there with the cops? How did he know that they were going to go through the door and that they were going to go through the window? How did he know all that?
Good point. It's a good point. Because like I'm trying to figure it out too.
You heard them saying it, man. You remember?
Yeah.
We're gonna change direction of the car. You heard them.
I got local news reporting that we can listen to and see how they spin it. Because like we know what the national media says. Like I want to hear what the local media is calling it and how they're describing it. I know, right?
They're still feeling the impacts of last night's explosion. Many homes were damaged and some will have a hard time getting home because of the scope of this crime scene. Debris from the explosion covers the neighborhood. Dozens of neighbors were out surveying the damage, talking about the impact they felt when the explosion happened. Many thought something happened at their own homes before they went outside and saw the flames.
On the couch, I kind of like physically recoiled from the shock of the explosion. I had no idea what it was. I quite literally thought maybe there was a car that ran through my living room because it was that just abrupt.
This is like, I was so scared. It took me a while to fall asleep last night.
Red Cross told us that this afternoon the disaster action team is assisting neighbors who were impacted at a reception center, providing food, water, and emotional support. This is a look at the street and duplex prior to the explosion. Google.
All right, so right there on the left. So it was a duplex.
Yeah.
So right there on the left is where it happened. So he must have lived in a place on the left, right there.
He had to have lived on the place on the left because that's the only place that blew up. So you remember the explosion was on the back half of that house, right? It was right here, this section.
Is that the back or the front?
That's the front.
This is the front. This is the front door. So like the guy's claiming they took a ram arm through the front door, but we saw the video. There was no ram at the front door. There was no breach team at the front door. Is he talking about a side door?
Because like long before now.
Well,
did say it was attached to the house. I mean to the truck. The arm was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're looking at the door, like if you're looking at the door like this, like the truck was like back here somewhere
over here,
and it was coming through. So like if I'm looking at it, it's coming through on this angle.
So based on the eyewitness testimony, he said they were trying to go through the window, right, and before the explosion. So it would have to be this side that he's talking about because there was nobody in the front, there was nobody at this window. It has to be a side door or a back door here in a window, and that's where the explosion was. So like it would make sense. Let's play it out if we're going with what they said is true, right? They were trying to breach. There must have been a gas leak. I'm more than betting the kitchen is on this side of the house. There was a gas leak when they were trying to breach. They effed it up. They put a breach charge or they put something through the window that caused it to ignite and it exploded the house. Like, simplest solution if we believe what they say. That's how it happened. He didn't explode it himself. They effed it up and they killed him. That's the simplest solution I can tell you. Just like in Waco, right? They didn't mean to kill those people. They just happened to kill those people, right?
In Waco, they did mean to kill them, though. That's
they did. Ruby Ridge.
I'm saying according to the official story, right? We're going with the official story, right?
You know, we don't believe official stories here.
I know that. I'm just saying, like, if we're playing official story narrative here, this is what it would be. Is
we're gonna dissect this.
They effed it up. They caused a gas explosion and they killed the suspect without meaning to. And nobody wants to be the guy that goes, hey, we accidentally effed it up and killed him for a mental health case.
But now, I think Marlon mentioned earlier that they cut off the gas, right? Or wouldn't that be like normal? And I would think it would be normal knowing the fact if anything is gas and there's a possibility of an explosion. They would cut everything off with the ammunition that they're using, because for one, it's safety. You know, if there is a gas leak or gas, he turns on the gas and they end up throwing charges in there. Like it blew up the whole house. And whose house was living next to him? Who was there? What person lived there? So
Exactly,
I think
they
normal
could've killed both of
protocol,
them.
the first thing he would do, they would call the gas company, telling them to cut off. The only thing he could have done was leak out the lines that were left in the house.
But that wouldn't be enough.
Yeah, it wouldn't be enough. I mean, by the time, he turned it on, he would have to time it just right if it was enough. He would have to time it perfectly, but it still wouldn't be enough gas because the lines shut off at a certain point.
Yeah. Like I said, they were trying to ram in. They busted a line. They threw an explosive incendiary charge into the room. It lit it up and blew it up. That's probably what happened. Like, if we're going with their official narrative.
Did we
That's
see
probably what
them
happened.
throw a charge, though? Because
None of
videos
us did,
show-
but that's what the witness is claiming they did.
Oh.
Is they were throwing charges in the window.
I didn't
Remember?
like I said
No.
earlier.
He said they charged the front door with that
Yeah.
arm.
Well, there are people claiming that they were throwing incendiary charges and
But
flashbangs.
based on what we know, they weren't firing anything. He was the only one that was returning fire. Now I'm surprised they said they didn't find actual weaponry if he was indeed firing things back.
They did. They said they only found a flare gun, which is legal in this area apparently, because they made a specific point to point out that you can make them into shotguns if you want to. On one of the local reports, this local report mentioned it specifically. You can turn flare guns into shotguns. For what reason, I have no idea.
But yeah, so they only found a flare gun in the house. But the guy that they interviewed said, now listen to the words that he said.
Yeah.
A high caliber weapon.
Weapon, yeah.
Weapon. Not rifle, not gun.
Yep, not
weapon.
rifle, not gun, nothing like that. Weapon is the key word because only people that are trained, that have been around that environment, call it a weapon. I still call it a weapon. So something was fishy. And then I was looking at the last video I think Coy played with the local news. And I saw a guy standing there with an FBI sweater on, but his back was to the camera. And I was like, man, that's that guy they just interviewed. I'm telling you, it looked like him. It did.
I'll have to skim back through it. Let's listen to the rest of this. I want to see what they say.
Earth showing the tree-lined brick home neighborhood there. You can see why.
See, it came from that side.
Mm-hmm.
It's from that one
Firefighters
house.
say evacuations saved lives in the situation with all those bricks and debris just sent flying. This certainly could have been a lot worse.
All right, pause it real
7 News
quick.
was
So that being a gas explosion, the way it exploded, if you go back just a little bit to the initial, just scroll back just a little, right when the initial blast went off. Look on the left side and look at the amount of flame that shot out that window. Now, that is a set charge to me. This is how I would think because we've done it on doors before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, watch the very, very right there. You see that? See how it shoots out like that?
Yeah.
Now, if it was a gas leak, it wouldn't do that. Everything in the house is filled with gas already, so it just engulf everything in the house and boom. This looks like some type of charge.
Like a
Maybe
localized
like-
explosion kind of a thing. Yes.
Yeah, it looks like maybe they were trying to breach the side of a wall. Maybe, but somebody messed up. And
That's what I said. It's like the simplest explanation is negligence, and they effed it up. They put it on. Imagine this: they put a shaped charge on a gas line right by the kitchen window or something like that. It's an older Virginian house that's more than likely got gas. They put a charge on the thing to break in. They effed it up and hit the gas line. They didn't turn it off like they were supposed to before they went for a breach, and they blew up the house.
I mean, that's what it looks like to me. I don't know. I've been around charges.
Firefighters say evacuations.
See? Yeah. And then how it all went back in. So that initial blast, it looked like a charge or some type, shaped charge. To me. I don't know. I might be wrong. I wasn't EOD. But
yeah.
Saved lives in the situation with all those bricks and debris just.
Or maybe he just had a crap ton of flares in there for some reason. He just had them stacked by his kitchen window.
That's where he wanted them nearby.
A lot worse.
Yeah. Candy.
7 News was asking the question tonight, though, who is James Yoo, the man at the center of this? Investigator Scott Taylor did a deep dive into the man and found some red flags. Scott, would you find
Of course.
Michelle, we did realize that early this morning, police were at his house for noise complaints in the past, but so far we can't find any criminal record. But when you move over to social media, issues start to pop up.
Okay, pause right
James
there. I
Yoo
get
is
it. I get it now. He's a test.
Mm-hmm.
He is a test to see if the American public will be okay with the police or law enforcement going after people who show what they consider red flags on social media platforms.
Yeah.
And if they take
Interesting.
this as oh, that's not a bad way to approach it, and they will eventually kill themselves anyway, why not turn our attention to online personalities who might be pushing conspiracy theories or what they call lies and go after them at their residence, especially if we can make up some sort of a reasoning for it. Remember, no criminal record. But when we looked at his social media platforms,
Ooh, that was scary. You also forgot they don't call it lies anymore. They call it They call it malinformation, right? That's the new term.
Yeah.
Be truthful but harmful information.
And you know one thing, isn't this the same picture from his LinkedIn? I'm assuming.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
All right. I don't know who. I don't know anybody who has multiple social media accounts that has the same photo on all of them.
On all of them, yeah.
See, this photo is going to circulate. This is going to be the only photo they show. They're not going to show anything else. They're just going to show this one picture to embed this in people's brains of what this guy looked like.
Yeah.
So this is his LinkedIn, probably his YouTube, probably his Facebook, and this is going to be the only photo they show. That's it. And they have.
You know what's funny? I was gonna say, you know what's funny is we haven't, like you said, we haven't seen any other photo of this guy, right? Other than this one photo. This is the only photo we've seen. But here's the other thing: they're treating this guy like he was a mass shooter,
right?
Yeah. And that's what's weird to me is that, like, he had red flags. It's like, what? He believed in some weird shit. Sure, okay. What uncle you don't know how believes in some weird things? Okay, there's somebody in your family that believes some weird stuff. If he believes in spaghetti monsters in the sky, okay, he's a bit weird, but that doesn't mean he's nutso, right? Like,
so
that's the thing.
Let's hear what they say about finding his stuff. I guarantee you they're gonna say he had a bunch of right-wing propaganda and they had reason to be afraid.
Anti-government, right-wing.
Yeah.
56 years old, and according to a LinkedIn page, he's a George Mason University graduate with a degree in information resource management. Self-employed as a landlord, he worked at tech companies in Rochester, New York, and in Reston and Crystal City, Virginia. If you dig deeper, there are some interesting posts. Defund the FBI and CIA are posted, along with Purge all spies. There are claims next-door neighbors and their children are spies, and those neighbors are planning to attack on Thursday of this week, December 7th, on the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. There's also a post about neighbors following you around the nation for years.
And that's the weird thing. It's like, what if he's right though?
What if he is right? Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like we think of it like this. People, like, the government will discredit people easily, like this, saying that they're schizophrenic, right? There's a lot of people that have worked for certain reputable industries, you know, Lockheed Martin, for instance, that end up turning schizophrenic for some reason. Mysteriously, people have had no issues working for this company suddenly develop schizophrenia.
I have a theory behind that.
Yeah.
So imagine working for one of these big companies, Lockheed Martin, NSA, all these big, secret squirrel places. And so usually when you work for a place like that, you have to sign a what? An NDA, right?
NDA, yeah.
Non-disclosure letter. Usually the NDAs aren't for life. They usually have a time period for 10 years or whatever. So what if these major places are messing with people's brains so they forget a lot of this stuff, but it does something to them, kind of like MK Ultra. It does something to their brain, even though, because they can wipe your memory. They have technology out there to do that. So what if this guy leaves these major corporations? They leave these big secret squirrel places. Do you really think the government's going to trust them not to speak on it? I don't think they would, even if you signed an NDA. Once the information's out, the information's out, NDA or not.
Yeah.
So what if they do take these people and mess with their head to where they messes with their memory, and then things like this happen where they become schizophrenic?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't know.
But that's the thing. It's like, it's one of those things of like, if somebody says they're not crazy, but then you tell them something that seems crazy, are they crazy or not? Like, they could be telling you the truth. That's the thing. It's like when the government comes and says, hey, this person's a schizophrenic, he's a weirdo, right? He's putting aluminum foil on his windows like this guy did, right? He's saying that his neighbors are spies and they're watching on him. And it's like, okay, let's run that down. Is it possible the U.S. government has or has not done something similar to that in its history. Yes, it has. We've gone over that. It's called the MK Ultra Project, where they were experimenting on people without their knowledge, right? Making them seem crazy in order to experiment on them. That has been something we have done, right? Does or does not the FBI on a regular basis tap or wiretap or keep track of people they deem political and political opponents or interests? Yes, yes, they do. They do that. So could his neighbors have been feds because they were doing a sting operation or whatever else, observation operation in a house in one of his neighbors' houses? Absolutely. That's completely possible in the realm of possibility because we live in 2023. We know that's true because they've been doing it for years. So is he actually crazy is the question.
Well, he ain't no more.
He's dead, obviously.
Yes.
Oh, maybe he's dead. Maybe dead because they said they found a body, but they didn't say it was his body.
Yeah, and I have another question. We're all pretty political, right? I would consider us pretty political people. I would consider us kind of, I wouldn't say anti-government. We're anti-establishment kind of people. We don't like the corruption. Have you ever posted anything like that on your social media?
No.
You know what I mean? It makes no sense to me. I don't think anybody in their right mind would post stuff unless you're just insane on your LinkedIn account.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing for me is like, why would he put that on a LinkedIn account other than like, to me, it seems more like a fake account. It's one of those parody accounts. Somebody put that up there to paint this guy as crazy, which is easy because nobody's saying this is his actual account. They're just claiming it's his account. But we don't have any actual proof.
Is his YouTube still up?
I have no idea. I haven't checked.
Because if his YouTube is not up and they only allow the LinkedIn one, it could be that they're trying to maintain the story.
Yeah, because here's the thing: is like, how do we have proof that he's the one that actually set that up? They're just reporting that it is, not that he actually did it, right? So like, anybody can make an account and say, like Michael Harris, like conspiracy account. You know what I mean? Just make something up and then post it as Michael.
I mean, you look at social media. There was a fake account going around about me a while ago. They didn't post anything, but it was a fake account with my picture on it.
Yeah,
and I kept telling people that's not me. Yeah.
So do catfishes exist? Absolutely.
So
we know
easy.
They exist.
Yeah, it's so easy that from what Coy said for someone, especially the big government, to go in there, make him a fake LinkedIn account, put all this crazy stuff on there, take the guy out, delete the other account that he had, and leave this one up for the world to see.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's just weird how they're treating this guy, that he's like, he did something horrible, right? They're painting this guy in such a light that he was such a crazy person, right? That like what? Because he was crazy, he deserved to get blown up in his house. Like what was that? Apparently. Are you saying that? Because like the story, they're not saying he caused the explosion, just that there was an explosion. You notice that? They're not saying he caused the charges. And then not only that, they've got the FBI and the ATF at his house. For what reason? Is this not a local jurisdiction case? Like, why is the FBI and the ATF involved?
Good point.
He didn't violate any gun laws. They said so. He only had a flare gun. What gun law did he break for the ATF to be there?
Flare gun. He just have to have the flare gun apparently for them to be.
The flare gun's legal in Virginia. You can have it. There was no reason for them to go after the flare gun. The FBI, did he break any sort of law that crossed states' lines? Did he kidnap a kid? Like, what? Why is the FBI involved?
Well, because
there was an explosion.
They have to, be there because in case of things.
Yeah.
And don't to forget stuff as well, because there might be a bunch of things and stuff that's going on there that they need to make sure that things and stuff don't get to other things and stuff.
Because reasons.
Yeah, because reasons.
Because reasons. Like, if you would have told me this was like a meth lab explosion, it's like, okay, that's possible. That's reasonable. Right? Meth labs explode all the time. I live in Arkansas. Okay, that shit happens. Right? It's not out of the realm of possibilities of some jackhole in the middle of nowhere blowing up his house, okay, or his trailer. That happens. So, like, for them to be there, then what I understand is like, okay, so the ATF came in because of like drugs, or the DEA was there because of drugs or whatever. Like, I would get that. That's why the feds are there. But they're not saying he caused the explosion. They're there because he said some crazy things on the internet, and they tried to go in for his well-being, a safety check, because he was firing off flare guns, which a nuisance and maybe like a misdemeanor charge, not a felony charge, of firing a flare gun, right? They're not saying he committed any felonies here.
Didn't
Just
even
that
say
he was
started
being a
fire.
nuisance.
They
Yeah,
didn't even say that he started a fire. There was a noise complaint, right? Is what they said.
it was a noise complaint, and he was being a nuisance by firing flare guns in the air. That's all he did. But why is the ATF and the FBI at this guy's house because of a flare gun incident, and them trying to breach the house that resulted in an explosion that they're not saying that he caused?
Yeah, the flare gun. So are they saying that he shot at the officers with the flare gun?
They're not saying he shot at the officers, but there are people that saying that he did.
Where was that witness?
I'm so confused. This is very confusing.
Look. This is what someone said they recorded.
Yeah.
Okay. He fired a flare. Looks like some Photoshop stuff right there.
Arlington police say this all began when officers were dispatched to the home around 4:45 for reports of a flare gun being shot out of a home, and they were provided us with video of the flare gun going off around that time, plus pictures of the aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Now, is that the aftermath of the flare gun or the explosion of the home?
Explosion of the home.
Why is there a school bus there?
It's across the street, I guess.
Go back to the original photo or the first one you showed with the flare going up. See if that school bus is there.
No, that's a different angle.
A whole different angle. I don't even know where that.
Maybe there's a school close by there.
Because the house is just
all right.
on the
Let's
other
go
side.
to that map that Jay Lee sent us. I don't see a school near there at all. That doesn't mean, and it's a dead end. And the next clearest street is down on the other side of apartments.
Oh, that's right. Because we have the video from that local news report. Let me bring that up again and see where it showed.
Because I want to know if if the school bus wasn't there.
Okay.
During the explosion, what did it do? Just show up when the house is on fire? Be like, we're just going to park the bus right here. Get on.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
That's why I was asking that question.
This is the street view leading up to the house, right?
Okay, so you can't put a bus there, and it's not at the right angle.
So
there's that lot over there to the left.
Here, I'll play it again.
Impacted at a reception center, providing food, water, and emotional support. This is a look at the street and duplex.
It's a dead end right here. I don't know what this is, a park or whatever that is.
Yeah, it's the park. And it's a lane in the park to walk in. I'll show you. I have the map here.
The explosion.
Okay.
Google.
This is the map.
Or what's in the green patch over there?
This right here?
That's the park.
Fields Park.
Okay.
And this is a trail. That trail that you saw is the
Yeah.
Bluemont Junction Trail. And this is the only street. So if they were taking a picture of the fire, the bus would have to be at this first house, but you would have seen the house in that picture, wouldn't you?
Maybe it was from the parking lot of the park.
Let's go back
on that
and
backside.
see. Okay, so there you go. There's a fence, right? And the bus is in front the fence.
What angle is that from? It has to be the park. It has to be from the park. Because that's the only thing that matches up with that is the backside where the park is at.
Yeah, but there's no road there for the bus.
Yeah, that's...
There is no road there for the bus, like whatsoever. I'm gonna get me the 3D version of this.
We need the bird's eye view.
Yeah, I need to get to see if there is indeed a what you call it. Help me out. A
satellite map?
Fence there. No, a fence there.
The only fence that we saw leading up to that is the ones right across from the trail. And that's about it.
Okay, look at this now. Okay. I'm going to share this. Look at this screen and you tell me if you can see. All right, here we go. This is good information stuff. You guys look at this, right? So this is where they say explosion, trees. There's no way to see a bus through there.
Yeah.
The only other place would be here, and that's a main road, and the bus would have to come over here. And you could take the picture from here. I could see that
think I
angle
know.
right here across the field.
Can you put the scroll over that little area where you said the bus is going to go?
Right here?
If they give you a picture, they don't give you a picture, do they? No, that looks like stairs.
That's a stair, yeah.
Yeah,
You can't fit the bus there. The bus can't park unless it parked right here.
that's a soccer field. With some
That could be
bleachers.
right here. It could pull off to the side here, and you could see. But even then, you're seeing a pretty clear view of it, and there's a whole row of trees plus more before you get to the house.
Right.
Yeah, because I did a drop down view of this too because I wanted to point it out.
Could it be here? Is this where the bus would be then? Here?
That's the street. It was around the fence. So
So
I
it would
didn't
be back
see-
here. So the bus could be right here, and they could see it through this direction here, right? And the
Theoretically,
picture,
yeah.
yeah, but that all makes sense if the layout wasn't like this. Let me show you again. Look at this one. There's a fence there.
Yeah, I see that,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what's okay. So there is a school next to here. Okay, can you bring up my screen real quick? I think I've showed it. Okay, so here's the house, right? In this section, this is the elementary school. But when you do the drop down, so I'm going to put it like kind of in the school area, like right here. This is where the school is. That's the only fence that you'll see from that side. So it had to either be because there's no fence up and down this road. It's
Okay, then drop us off at that house I was showing up.
Okay.
Do your little animation of that dude. Drag and drop him right at the.
Okay, so here's the house. You were
drop him
this road
right there. Yeah, on Buchanan Street.
Buchanan.
Where that blue,
We're
the
at-
blue angle right there, at the top. You see on 8th and Buchanan. Drop him on 8th and Buchanan.
Okay, right there. Blink. There's 8th and Buchanan.
Okay. Now let's look across and see if we see a fence. There's the tree. No, there's no fencing there.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense either.
And that's the house right there, right?
The house is right here. So here, I'll show you. This is the house that they're talking about. Wink. That's the house.
There.
All right, there's the house.
And there's
And
the
then
fence.
The fire came from. I mean, it looks like that's where they was taking it at over here, over in that area. But
yeah, but there's no fence.
No,
Yeah, the only fence you'll see is this one right here.
right there. But where was that bus? Was it parked on the grass?
No, but
I
the
know.
bus was on. Look again. Hold on. Keep yours up, yeah. Look at where the bus is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why a school bus would be there at the hour it's at with the flames on the house. I don't see why you would think they'd have that whole place corded off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because here's down the street, like coming into that road, and there's nothing here either.
There are no
Right,
angles that cover that picture.
Let me go this way, maybe. Because this is closer to where the park is on that side.
Yeah,
And
there's the
a
park.
fence there, but I'm not seeing where.
No fencing.
Was
It
there
would
a
have to
fence
be
to
from
the
the
left
back
if you
side.
turn left?
There's still
Yeah,
no
that's-
fencing, bro. There's
Because
still
the other
no-
house,
no-
the house is on that side over there.
Yeah.
It's like once we go up the road
So go here. See.
up here. So there's the pathway, right? That
Yeah.
leads to the house over
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not seeing it either. There's no
I
fences
still
on
don't see
this
any
side.
fence.
Weird. Things that make you go, "We got our eyes on you."
Yeah, there's still no fences. But maybe this is just old. How old is this? It's from 2009, so it's pretty old.
Oh yeah.
So that could be an issue.
even
It could be an
still-
issue, but still, you're looking at a completely off the wall location. That tree is not that old. That tree is not young.
Yeah.
We haven't seen a tree like that yet. The park would not just randomly develop a fence. There's still a lot of questions for me as to how they got this angle. Why is a school bus there? That's my biggest concern.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that's even the same picture of the location.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Yeah,
only thing
we
that would
don't
make
know.
sense is that's coming from the park on the backside.
See, they zoomed in, and even with the zoom in, it doesn't tell. There's a railing there,
There's a chain link fence too.
a chain link fence. And where is this? Where is that taken from?
Like I said, it's more than likely from the parking lot of the elementary school. That's what I'm thinking. Because that's the only thing that matches that from that backside. That's the only place. That's the only place that makes sense. That's the only place that has a large enough parking lot too.
I don't get this.
Yeah,
really
man. I
don't.
think, and like Coy said, I think this goes a lot deeper than what we can see or what they're showing us.
So I have to ask the question though, like, what would cause the FBI to be so to declare this guy to be such a national threat that they would have to come in and I guess, for lack of a better word, bomb this guy to death?
Okay.
Social
I guess a
media.
better question is, when did the feds show up?
You ready for why they say he was crazy? Let's read this. The court has carefully reviewed each page of the plaintiff's submission. Plaintiff complaint consists of delusional sounding allegation intermixed with other statements that seem more factual. The allegation concern matters from plaintiff's childhood to the present. The allegation frequently involved plaintiff's interaction with his sister and wife. The pleading includes references to plaintiff being hospitalized at RGH against his will and to various contacts with law enforcement. The complaint also alludes to plaintiff's impending divorce from his wife. Ultimately, the complaint indicates that plaintiff believes he is a victim of a conspiracy against him by his sister and ex-wife and others, including RGH. Plaintiff believes, for example, that his sister and ex-wife and RGH conspired to prevent him from obtaining an attorney, interspersed with these allegations are references to news stories appearing in the media over the past decades that plaintiff apparently believes they are connected to the conspiracy that he describes. For example, plaintiff apparently believes there is a connection between the alleged conspiracy, the terrorism on 9/11, and the current investigation into 2016 presidential election by special counsel Robert Mueller.
Now, you did say that his parents worked for one of those 3-letter agencies, right?
Yes.
Like I said, I was talking backstage. What if his parents told him something that they weren't supposed to tell him? They just, hey, son, did you know that X, Y, and Z? And his son was like, what? And they knew he was already kind of like anti-establishment, anti-government. And they told him something. They got scared.
Yep.
You know?
You want to know the official reporting? Like, this is what the police were saying. This is the official statement from Arlington Police. So approximately at 4:45 on December 4th, the Arlington Police Department was dispatched to the 800 block of North Burlington Street for the report of possible shots heard. The preliminary investigation indicated a suspect discharging a flare gun approximately 30 to 40 times inside his residence into the surrounding neighborhood. No property damage or injuries were reported related to the discharge of a flare gun. During the course of the investigation, officers obtained a search warrant for the suspect's residence and attempted to make contact with the suspect over the telephone and through loudspeakers. The suspect did not respond and remained barricaded inside the residence. As officers were attempting to execute the search warrant, the suspect discharged several rounds. Right here, that's the interesting part. He discharged several rounds of what?
Believed to be a firearm. How you not know if it's a firearm?
Yeah, several rounds believed to be a firearm inside the home. Subsequently, at approximately 8:25 p.m., an explosion occurred at the residence. The investigation into the circumstances of the explosion are ongoing. So are you saying that whose fault was it? You're not saying whose fault it was. That was the interesting part.
How
right?
much you want to bet? A couple days, maybe today, tomorrow. Tomorrow, they're going to say that they did find a weapon in there.
Yeah. They have to figure out what kind of weapon, though.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, they have to find a weapon.
It's going to be an AR-15.
Yeah, which is what that eyewitness said. He said there are high caliber rounds like an AR.
Yep.
That's
They're
what
going
he
to come
said.
out and say, yeah, we found an AR. It was charred.
We found
Look,
an AR-99.
we have it. Just like that guy in Vegas, you know. He had all this stuff, but...
Because
There's
they're claiming that he discharged rounds. Was it at the police officers? Like, was he just shooting around? Like, they're not saying if it was directed at them. Like, were their lives in danger? What was the thing? There's too many like kind of well, what were you guys doing?
It was the
You know, in
wheels on the
situation.
bus going rounds and rounds, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I get the
kind
guy.
of fishy.
Like I said, even if the
Again,
guy
like-
was legitimately crazy, you know?
Yeah, and again, we can go back to MK Ultra. You know, it exists. It's a real program. They try to say they took it off the market, but it's still there. You know,
Yeah.
you know it, we know it, we all know it. And I don't know, man, to make somebody just go crazy like that, just out the blue, you know, I believe that it probably had something to do with that. And there's certain frequencies and everything that they can turn on, you wouldn't even know it's on, and it can affect
Yeah.
your mood. It can affect a lot. So
Look, if those lights can help you in the wintertime, the UV lights, those
Right.
mood swing lights, and they do work, people. Trust me, I
Mhm.
used to sell them, and they do indeed have merit to them. Because if you are suffering with like I do, you hate winter because it's so stinking dark and dreary. Those UV things do indeed help. They do it. The sun does a number for your mood. Okay.
Mhm.
And
I was gonna
if
say, so-
light could do it, if light can do it, then sound definitely can do it, because music, when people are in the gym, they use music to get hyped up, or they use music to sleep. I like my music at night. I'll put on some instrumental, and that will be my whole ambient noise in the background all night long. So I know for a fact that music, which means it's a frequency, can affect your mood. It can affect your behavior. It can tell you what to do. Because if you look at rap music,
BPN effects.
so don't act like this isn't shown every day
It's real.
in regular life. So I can definitely see them using this to their advantage in some way, shape, form, and fashion now. So
And it's just something people got to look up. Their frequencies do so much. You know, they can heal you, they can help you sleep, they can change your mood, they can make you mad, they can make you hungry,
kill you.
I mean, they can make you do all types of stuff. So if you start looking into these frequencies, like I said, there's certain frequencies out there that they can turn on and you wouldn't even know it's on, you know, but it'd affect you in a certain way and you wouldn't even know why it's affecting you like that. You're like, why did I go crazy all of a sudden? This isn't me. It's the frequencies, man. They're messing with your they're messing with your brain.
It's
So
like, what do you do when you're depressed? You listen to music and makes you feel better, or just
Yeah.
stick in the depression. BPM helps certain attitudes. If you have music at a certain beats per minute, it changes the way you feel. We know
Hey, that's why emo music was so good.
I love emo music. I'm an elder emo.
So,
So
Marlon, I had a joke I was trying to say before we went into that. It's, you know what it is, why you like the lights? It's because black people weren't meant for winter.
We were not meant for winter.
But,
we are not. We are not. I know this lies about we've been Vikings, man. Black people would never be Vikings, okay? We would never go into ice intentionally. Come on now.
I know that's exactly, winter was built for white folk. That's what it is. We were in the northern hemisphere for a reason, right?
But you know, when it comes to music helps me out a lot too, because that's one of the main things I listen to, and it does help my mood, especially at night when I'm trying to sleep. You know, I listen to a lot of meditational frequencies and all that stuff, and that stuff really helps, man. When I'm cooking, I always listen to classical. When people see me with my headphones on when I'm in my uniform, usually I'm listening to something classical. So, you know, look into frequencies and be careful of what you listen to, and based off how you're feeling. If you're feeling depressed, don't listen to something that has a frequency that's not going to help you with your depression. You know, so people have to understand how this stuff works. And I truly believe that this program still exists. And a lot of it comes from like these vaccinations. A lot of it comes from these prescription medicines that the pharmaceutical companies are putting out. And there's things in these medications, and they're known to mess with the chemicals in your brain. This is a known fact when it comes to Xanax, antidepressants, anything. This guy was probably on some type of antidepressant, right? I would think.
Yeah.
He's almost lost everything. His wife left him. He's paranoid. He's probably depressed. Probably on antidepressant.
So
what if those antidepressants react?
50-something too.
What if they
56.
react? What if they react to certain frequencies? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All these medications, and most people that are like mass shooters that do sick stuff like this, there's one deciding factor in all of them. They're on some type of psych meds, or they're on some type of medicine, and these medicines with frequency could probably make you do stuff that you normally wouldn't do. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Hey, look,
Like I
when
said,
I
it's like,
when I was ill and had body injuries and damage and all that stuff, when I was taking Oxy, okay, Oxy alters your mind. Like it does, because it affects your chemical makeup. And it is one of the more potent ones out there. It's not the most potent, but it's up there with pain relief. And if it doesn't have pain relief, like on me, it didn't really give a whole lot of pain relief. It did enough to take the massive edge off. But it did make you, initially, it made you think weird things. The other one I took was one called Tramadol. Tramadol, I will never touch again. That's a synthetic. I will, when I say never, ever will I ever touch that thing again. I was a zombie. And I literally mean that. You take it, and I didn't know whether I was awake or if I was asleep, if I was having a delusion, if I was seeing things, if I didn't know what was reality. I mean, now I used to work around heavy machinery. You can't afford to be that loopy when you're involved with something that could instantly crush you. I worked at a dam here, the water dam, okay, where you'd have power coming from, where these massive turbines weighing almost 15 tons, the heavy, okay. If you are not careful and you slip into the wrong location, there is nothing that's going to pull you out of there. They won't even bother try retrieving your body. They'll just let that flush out through the system. That's how bad it is, okay? So I took this thing, and I'm thinking it's for pain relief, and I'm sitting in the truck, and I'm there, but I'm not there. And I could hear my coworkers talking to me. It was sounding like they were talking through a water bubble. I told my doctor, okay, look, as much as I want pain gone, we're not doing this. This one, we're chalking this one up to a fail. Okay, we're not doing this. So if somebody is not coherent enough and aware of what it's doing to their bodies, trust and believe me that this stuff could make you think you're hearing stuff that you're not hearing. It's a definite alterable thing. Once they mix that with sound effects, oh my goodness, man, definitely thought you're going insane. It only takes one trip to do it.
And guys like that are it's like the perfect target. You got to think about the target audience that they're looking for. Guy's recently divorced, about to lose his house. He's already, paranoid. That's a good candidate. So like Marlon said, they're hearing these voices from taking these medications. And this is all MK Ultra stuff. They're hearing like voices, and they're going crazy. And then they find a way through frequency to make those voices more relevant.
Yep.
It's all through frequency. People are like, I didn't hear anything. Well, of course you're not going to hear it, because you can't hear these frequencies. You can't hear them, but they're there. It's kind of like the voices in his head. You can't hear it, but he can hear it. So just understand it. Then, you got people around here. The first thing you do, especially in the military, when we got out, the first thing they wanted to do when you had any type of problem, they want to throw pills at you. Here's some pain pills. Here's some insomnia pills. Here's these type of pills. Here's the type of pills. And then they, and that ties to a lot of things that are happening to veterans, when it comes to the suicide rate, because it's all these medications that are affecting the chemicals in their brain to where it's making them act a certain way. So imagine them already paranoid from the medication. On top of that, with frequency, it'll get you to do anything.
Yep. Like I said, we talked about this previously when we were talking about MK Ultra, is the fact that they were doing experiments on people that didn't know they were being experimented on. So it's not out of the realm of possibility of the U.S. government doing things they probably shouldn't do. I mean, look at Anthony Fauci with all the bugles and doing all that nastiness to the dogs. So and that was government funded, by the way.
Tax
but,
dollars.
Yeah,
it was.
So just to say that, that was back in the day. They don't do that anymore. It's like, yeah, sure. And the FBI doesn't wiretap people without warrants.
Erica, I don't take medicine, and I don't even know why you asked that question. But no, I don't take medicine.
You take opioids? I
don't take nothing. Only thing I do every couple times a week for sleep are gummies, Delta 9 gummies. and I bite the corner off just enough.
Take 5 of them myself.
Oh, that's crazy. I don't
Take
like
10,
that
5 to 10 of them at a time, man. That's the best way to live.
Melatonin gummies are best, though, to get to sleep.
No, see, I took melatonin once, and that thing kept me awake. I was like, no more of that stuff. I drink coffee, though. I'll be out. I think I might be slightly ADHD. That might be what it is. But I'll drink coffee.
I know I am a little bit.
Yeah, coffee sedates me. It doesn't wake me up. I don't drink it to stay awake. I drink it to
go sleep
because I love the taste.
ADHD is actually a good thing.
Yeah, I don't mind having an overactive brain
Yeah,
when it does
we can't
function.
be controlled. It's
I don't know
usually
about
the
that.
smooth brain.
I don't know about that.
Nah, I can't be controlled. I'm a rebel, dude.
No, that's kind of the problem with ADHD people is that you can tell them to do something and they were going to do it and they said, "Well, now I don't want to do it."
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to do it.
I was
Like,
gonna, not anymore.
I was going to do it, but now I don't want to.
But now you're making me feel like I have to. So that means I should.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Like having ADHD sucks just because of that alone is like, hey, you should go do that. Well, I was, but now that you told me to, I don't want to.
I'm not gonna do it. I don't feel the urge anymore. I think all of a sudden I feel I shouldn't. Okay, there you go.
Thanks for ruining my day.
I had plans to be productive until someone told me I should be productive, and now I don't
Right,
feel like being productive.
That is the worst. It's like I'm gonna have a productive day. Hey, you should be productive more. Well,
Yeah,
no,
well,
thanks. I'm gonna be thinking about that all day.
Yeah, you
like if
should do this.
See
Michael,
what it
I
is?
think you should get up and go to the store. No, but you
I don't
need
want to.
this. You shouldn't have told me because I'm not
I
going
know I'm not gonna go.
I'm not going to go since you told me.
It's that meme where the guy's riding the bike and he puts the spoke, the thing between the spoke. Like it's like when somebody else comes along and says, "Hey, you should ride your bike." Now I'm not going to.
I'll hurt myself for that. There you go.
Yeah, like, I'm seriously, man. Like when I say I can't be controlled, I can't be controlled. This is why I'm single, because I'm not gonna let nobody come in my life and try to tell me what to do.
The reason he's
Outside
single
of
is because
me trying to hurt myself. If you think you're gonna come in my life and disrupt it, yeah, you got another thing coming.
the reason Michael's single is because he does not want nobody telling him how to cook. Okay, let's just get that right.
Well, if they can't outcook me, don't tell me how to cook.
Okay.
You know,
Trying to find
saying.
And
I mean,
woman that can cook right now. I
I'm
dare
just saying.
That's pretty horrible criteria for a bride, man. You're
No, I'm just saying though. It's like I know more guys that can cook than women now.
That's true.
How
most
dare
women
you
can't
say
even
that?
cook.
Don't say
Well,
that.
no,
That's sexist.
women can cook. It's the thing is, and what you learn, working around knowing chefs and stuff, is that men are a little more patient when it comes to food and cooking.
No, I'm saying modern women today don't even know how to cook.
They burn water.
I burn water pretty good though.
They wash their chicken in the sink.
I'm not saying that all women are like that. I'm just saying that the majority of modern women.
The
don't
only
know how to
place to wash chicken is in the toilet. Okay,
You don't wash chicken in the sink. That makes
you
no
wash
sense.
it in the toilet.
Dude, there's a video of a guy making mile-high potatoes.
We saw that. That was crazy.
So gross. You made me think of that, and that makes me.
We have divulged into a foodie conversation.
I always tell people, they'd be like, "Hey, bro, why are you single?" And I always say, "There's probably some controlling person out there looking at me, trying to figure me out.
No.
You ain't never gonna figure. You ain't never gonna figure me out.
Never gonna get it. Never gonna get
I'll
it.
change
never
up.
gonna
I'm like
what?
an amoeba.
Who's gonna get married? Michael was going to get married, but then he walked in and saw her chicken, and that was it.
I'm
we're
married.
not having this.
Hey, look, if she can make me, let's say, trying to think of something difficult. A Gravlik?
I'll do your Wellington.
Okay, yeah. If you can make me a beef Wellington 2 standard, I might think about it.
He won't consider it. He'll think about
I might
you.
consider it. It depends on how it tastes.
It's either that or tiramisu or flan. Like, can you make that without?
I can make tiramisu and flan. I can make tiramisu, flan. What
those
else?
are difficult.
Creme brulee.
I make trouble real good. I know how to make trouble.
An
That's my
Alaskan
favorite
bake.
meal.
An Alaskan bake. I mean, I can do it all, man.
Can you
Tomorrow I'm
poach
making
an
this
egg?
African chicken. So a tangent.
Isn't African chicken really easy to make because they're all skinny?
No, it's
Because they don't eat over there.
It's the recipe that comes from Africa. That's why.
I thought I was having the edgy jokes today, but
Yeah.
no.
I thought they were really.
Hold
easy
on.
to cook.
What did
They're
she
like
say?
an ounce
What did
of
Kat
meat
say?
on them.
What did Kat say? I got a cat. What did she
Cat
say?
roasting is what she's doing.
You just got to keep the hubby out of the kitchen. Yeah, that's true. Okay. I thought bro kitchen. I saw kitchen. It's almost
Yeah, you think everything's
No,
about
she
you.
wasn't talking about you. She was just talking
You're
about
so vain. You probably think this chat room's about you. You're so vain.
It ain't about me.
Yeah. In
Never
any case,
about me.
what are we doing Wednesday? What's our topic Wednesday?
Each
I don't know.
We're gonna talk about what, aliens?
Why are you gay?
Man, there is something.
Oh no! What about Argentina's newly elected president?
Oh, he's
Oh
funny.
yeah, them trying to take over the place because they have oil.
He is funny. I like him.
I like him too.
I like him a lot. That he has no chill whatsoever.
Because he didn't he talk about the Pope? You saw that interview?
Oh, yeah.
Talking about the
Oh
Pope.
yeah,
Oh, you're talking about Argentina, not Venezuela.
yeah.
Sorry.
He is. He is what Trump would be without like no filter at all.
You saw that video? He's like the Ministry of like Diversity. Afuera! Shit was balling.
Everything.
It's just afuera, afuera. Just like every time, just throwing it off. It was great.
It's called the Trump effect, man. You know,
All right, we go.
everybody wants to be Trump.
We covering him for sure.
He's called the Madman for a reason.
Yeah.
I could use that. I could use
That's
the
good.
laugh because he's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. He's a funny dude. He was actually on with Tucker recently too. I need to watch that video.
Tucker's awesome. I know you guys. Did you watch the Hooch when we talked about Alex Jones? That was a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
No, he's
Alex
back
is
talking
back.
about Sandy Hook too.
Yeah, Alex is back.
He was just defending himself about the Sandy Hook thing. That was all he was talking about.
I could send it to Florida when my son comes down here and he goes back. Gotta say when.
We'll
I'll
talk
just
about
send it.
Argentina on Wednesday. This Saturday is our Rumble event. Don't forget that. I think I finally will tackle the Nephilim thing on Saturday. I decided.
I can make Vietnamese food too, Len.
So go look up the guy. I forget his name now. What is his name?
Oh,
Who?
I don't know.
Malay, something like that.
The Argentina
Malay.
president?
Yeah.
I don't know. He just looks funny.
He's a libertarian though. That's all I know.
He literally looks like a
Javier Melil. Okay,
Yeah.
Malay. Javier Malay.
We're obviously not Spanish speakers here.
Or Malay. Milei.
What? Oh my God! It's
I'm gonna
Sabbath.
assume
I
that's
won't be
Malay.
watching. Cool. Have fun doing what you
Or
do on
Malay.
Sabbath.
Assalamu alaikum. Whichever one, we'll be talking about Javier come Wednesday and his hilarious antics, because I think he's actually going to follow through on all that stuff too. That's the best part.
Yeah.
So it might be the place I move to. It might be Argentina. You never know. I might actually just decide I'm done with America. and just go
We're all
there.
going to
Hey,
Argentina.
you know we can put all our money together and just bounce.
Just dip.
I'm down with that. I ain't going to be the one. I ain't going to be the one coughing up the majority. Y'all got to come in. This got to be a four-way split. We can.
We're just
move to
done.
Mexico.
We're out. Peace. We'll
One
still
way
have the
ticket to
podcast. Just in
You know
Argentina.
what? We could take our money. We can get us a little villa down there with 4 bedrooms and live the good life for the rest of
It
our
can't be
life.
4 bedrooms.
I got kids, man.
I got
Me-
kids,
You and I
man.
got to share. You
I
and I
got
got to
5.
share.
I got 5
I
kids.
ain't
You got-
rooming with nobody.
Man, your
Yeah.
kid's gonna sleep in tents in the front yard.
Yeah,
Damn,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, right. You think your dog's bad when it's pissed off? It'll pee everywhere. Kids will do the same thing. Okay.
Oh
Yeah. If anybody got any ideas to where
Kids
we can
will
move to
poop
an island.
and pee on the floor if you piss them off. Just don't put that past children. They'll do that.
Yeah, that's true. My dogs.
Okay, they'll do
my
just
dogs
like
are my
dogs.
life.
Hey, your dogs can sleep outside.
I'll
too,
kick
with
a
the
human
coyotes.
out my house before
I just
kick the
remember that
dogs out.
Argentina is one of the best like steak countries around. Like Argentinian cows are top notch globally.
Oh, so
So-
then we won't starve. We'll be good.
Yeah, I'm in.
Man,
Because
I'm
they're
liking this more and
grass-fed.
more.
I think he's also putting it on Bitcoin, just like who else did it? It's running.
See, just talk about look a little minion just ran in and ran out.
They heard.
Yeah. That's how
heard
we
that
do.
energy.
They move like bats, man. I tell you, they're like Batman. They'll show up 1 minute and then you turn around, they're gone. Like, how did they do that?
Mhm.
They move like that.
Batman.
I am vengeance. In,
Okay.
in any case, we'll catch you guys Wednesday. Don't forget to check out our shop. It is up and running on the Savage Patriots YouTube link. Go check it out. It says store. Get a bunch of stuff to piss off your liberal family members on Christmas Day. It's good stuff. Make them upset. And for you, you might want to make people have a conversation piece in the supermarket. You never know.
Yeah.
Or
I don't know.
Just,
Did you put
or you
the-
just train a lot and you want to fight. You just wear one of those shirts. And
Did you
Right.
get the new?
Remember not to be a bottom B.
Did you get the Did you get the new designs up?
no, I have not put them up yet. They'll be going up.
Oh,
tonight.
there's a good one for Christmas. We got to get that one up. It's
Yeah.
coming up.
They'll be going up
And
tonight.
Get one.
I just got to remember my login.
Make sure you guys get it. It's very good. Should we tell them what it
It's
is or let
hilarious.
it be a surprise?
Yeah, go ahead and tell them.
All right. So this new T-shirt is called "Treason is the Reason for the Season." I don't know what color he's going to make it. Marlon's doing all that, but that's
All
what it's gonna
black.
say. Treason is the reason for the season.
It's all black on black.
Make sure you guys pick that one up.
Yeah, make sure you
Uh-huh.
pick it up. But we'll
Yeah.
catch up. Don't forget. Go to the store. get your stuff, and then come back and subscribe if you haven't already. Mr. Lee.
And after you go to the store, like, share, comment, subscribe, and then we'll see y'all Wednesday.
Peace.
Oh.